You know, the CEO, a hot top executive at Netflix got fired over the summer for saying the N-word. I don't know if you remember this story.
I heard of it, but yeah, please.
Yeah, he was in a meeting about offensive words in Netflix's comedy specials. So presumably, like what they want to do with comedians who are saying expletives, and I imagine it's hard to have that meeting without saying the words. So he's having that meeting.
Yeah.
He says the N-word, referring to the word itself, not to any person, right? Fired. No, there's no one cares about context. It's just, it doesn't matter. And then a month earlier, Papa John's, the CEO of Papa John's, said the N-word in an anti-racist context, recalling what it was like for him to grow up in the South around racists and hear how they would refer to black people, right? So he's quoting people from his youth disapprovingly, quoting racists from his youth.
That's what that was?
Right?
To be honest, I
That's
knew
what
of
that
the
was.
controversy. I know he got fired and that whole thing. I didn't know that that was the detail.
That's what ultimately got him fired. And they took his name off of the gym of his local hometown, just erased him. I think that's incredibly silly, but like you said, it is, the assumption is that any institution is racist, and the onus is on you to prove that you're not.
Wow. On this note, can I ask your thoughts on the N-word? It's an incredibly sensitive topic. Clearly people are getting fired over it just by saying a word, regardless of the context. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think clearly we have an unjustifiable and irrational level of discomfort with the N-word. I mean, the only reason I'm saying N-word rather than the word now is because I've been on other YouTube shows where people get demonetized if this word is said, and I don't want to.
Thanks.
Yeah, no, you know, but I mean, there's a whole Wikipedia page. Here, I'm not going to say the N-word. I'm saying a different word that
Even
has
if you do, we
nothing
could
to
whatever,
do
bleep it out or
has
something,
nothing to
yeah.
do with the N-word. The word is niggardly. It is spelled Naggardly, and it's a synonym for stingy that is linguistically completely unrelated to the N-word, right? There's a Wikipedia page dedicated only to scandals around this word because it sounds kind of like the N-word, right? Scandals where people have gotten fired from their jobs over saying this word, not even the N-word.
So no connection whatsoever.
No, this is a word that was around in England in the year 1000 before they had ever seen a black person.
And people
So-
are getting fired.
Yes, there was an aide who got, aide to the mayor in Washington, D.C., got fired for using the word in 1999, I think. And there's a whole Wikipedia page just dedicated to the list of scandals that have cropped up around this word. I think that, like, if that's not a signal that we are hypersensitive about this word, then I don't know what would be.
Well, why is this word so much more sensitive than other racial slurs, do you think?
Well, I think it's an understandable response to the unique history of racial terror around black people in this country. It's similar to what I expect you might find around conversations about Jews in Germany, for example. There's probably, I don't know this for a fact, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's a level of sensitivity that from a non-German perspective might seem like, okay, that's a bit much. But you can understand, given the cultural, historical context, why that's the case. So yeah, a lot of the style of my argument is, you know, I'm acknowledging that all of the irrationality that we have around race is understandable given slavery and Jim Crow. It's understandable that it's a laudable sentiment to want to fix history or to want to be extra sensitive to people viewed as history's victims. But this comes at a great cost. Not only are innocent people being fired, but there are all kinds of issues that are real issues facing black people that can't be mentioned because they're seen as confirming historical stereotypes they're seen as being on the wrong side of history. One simple example is homicide is the leading cause of death among black men aged 15 to 34. Is CDC data.
The leading cause.
The leading cause. It's not the leading cause of death for white men, Hispanic men, Asian men, any other racial or age group. Why haven't we heard about this very much in the New York Times? The reason is because to talk about that problem honestly is to acknowledge that that problem is not caused by living white people. And the problem is almost entirely a problem of black men killing other black men at rates that would be shocking to people were it any other race. So to talk about that problem honestly and the consequences of that problem and the remedies requires you to, in many people's views at least, endorse a stereotype about black men as violent. When you obviously, to talk about it in a nuanced way, you don't have to endorse that stereotype as being true. But the price we pay for this irrational reverence for history is that we can't solve problems facing black people today in a way that is in touch with the evidence. And so yes, all of this, the problems I'm pointing to are understandable. I understand why they're problems, and it's not that the people who have this kind of reverence for black history at all costs are evil or stupid. It's just there's a dominant narrative that one pays a price for going against.
Hey everyone, thanks so much for watching the episode. If you're interested in contributing to the conversation and supporting the show, there's 2 easy things you can do. 1, click subscribe, and 2, visit our Patreon page where you get exclusive access to the Exploring Minds community.